This mountain looks like a scary monster, and this is a glitch trial chamber. Here are the rarest seeds in all of Minecraft. Ever wondered what a village would look like without houses? Well, this seed actually has one. There's a few hay bales and path blocks, but not a single house in sight. This is the most illegal looking island ever. You'll find a village, shipwreck, an ocean monument, and oh yeah, a literal stronghold that's combined with the villager's house. This seed belongs in a museum. Most of the time, you'll spawn on a large area of land, but on this seed, you'll only have a few blocks and a tree. This seed is only for the best Minecraft players. If you head towards the end portal in this seed, you'll find that it was actually destroyed by an ocean monument. But that's okay, there are other strongholds, right? Well, this glitch happened on version 1.8.9, and in this version, there were only 3 strongholds per world. And when you head towards the other 2 strongholds, you'll find that they were destroyed by the ocean monuments as well. So this world is actually impossible to beat in survival. When you spawn with this seed, you'll find yourself on top of a mangrove tree, with a desert village unusually located right next to you. Remarkably, this village is generated in the middle of a vast mangrove swamp. If you have lots of enemies, consider this seed, featuring enormous mountains that act as natural barriers against intruders. At the heart of these mountains is a peak perfect for overseeing any approaching threats, ideal for a fortress. Not a single mob can spawn in this stronghold. You may think I'm on peaceful mode, but I'm not. The stronghold actually generated right under a mushroom island, making it mob-proof. Well, besides the pesky silverfish. Traveling to the center of this ice lake, you'll find a massive sinkhole. But there's something down there that's even more interesting. You'll find a completely intact igloo that somehow hasn't melted away from all that lava. Most villages only have a single church, but not this one. This village has 8 entire churches scattered throughout the village. They must be doing a lot of praying here. Did you know you can spawn right on top of a woodland mansion? This seed spawns you right on the roof next to some dangerous mobs. If you're extremely good at combat, you could get some totems of undying, but it'll be pretty tough without any gear. However, if you just jump right into the ocean, you'll find a shipwreck with some iron gear you can use to take the evokers down. Remember the old video of Herobrine? Though it was a hoax, the actual seed from that video was discovered. The old fog in old Minecraft does feel pretty creepy though. Just a couple hundred blocks from spawn, this seed features a picturesque lake bordered by a spiraling birch pathway. Below the lake lies a vast cave system, leading directly to a stunning mountain zone. These landscapes look amazing from above, and it gets crazier. Switch to version 1.19.2 and a sinkhole appears in the center of the lake. Mangrove swamps typically don't spawn in the ocean, but this one defies the odds. It's formed right next to a desert village, creating an unusual yet fascinating combination. This seed has something wrong with it. If you head to these coordinates, you'll find an ice statue that sort of looks like an Among Us character. You can also try this other seed, and the mountains here will also form something suspicious. Would you want to live on this seed? It spawns you right on top of a massive island. Nearby, you'll find a village that starts at the top of the cliff and extends downwards towards the ocean. The villagers here have no chance of making it back up. As you explore the island, you'll also discover a vast exposed cave. This cave is so enormous that you can transform it into your very own base. Ruined portals are naturally found across your world. But did you know that a completely functional portal can spawn too? On this seed, a ruined portal spawned inside of a woodland mansion, causing fire to spread and light the portal. This mangrove swamp generated in the middle of a desert, and this desert generated in the middle of another mangrove swamp. What we have here is a recursive biome, and I think it's pretty cool. If you played Minecraft for a while, you might recognize this classic scene, a grassy hill with trees by the water. It's the iconic view from the famous pack.png image. What's crazy is that the exact seed was found after months of hunting it down. On this seed, you'll find a huge mountain with cherry trees surrounding it. Traveling around the mountain, you'll even discover a hollowed out area filled with dripstone. But that's not the craziest part. At the very top of the mountain, you'll find a pillager outpost overlooking the area. This seed spawns you on a skull island. You're placed on top of a beautiful desert mesa with plenty of trees and even a village to get a head start. There's even a camel here. However, none of this is the coolest part. When you look at the island from the side, you'll see the skull, and when you head into one of the eyes, you'll find a lush cave that spreads throughout the island. This woodland mansion is a sight to behold at 101 blocks tall, supported by a massive cobblestone foundation. I wonder how pillagers even built all that. This next seed spawns you on a medium-sized island with tall mountains, waterfalls, and even horses you can tame. Looking at the island from a certain angle makes it look like a dragon's head. It'd be a cool challenge trying to survive here. This seed features an ocean monument that spawned directly into a stronghold. The Elder Guardian inside prevents you from mining any part of the stronghold, forcing you to navigate it like a typical Minecraft adventure. This is one of the longest mountain ranges ever. At the start of it, you'll find a jungle temple, and once you climb all the way to the top, you can build a house overlooking the rest of the valley. easily. But that's not as insane as this village, which generates partly inside of a cave. It'd be kind of cool as some sort of mining town with a minecart network going downwards. However, I just can't get over the fact that it looks like a nostril from above. But what's even stranger is spawning on this massive island mountain in the ocean. Here you'll even find some trees at the top, so you can get materials and progress without leaving the island. For a cool build project, you can hollow out the inside of the mountain and transform it into some kind of tower. How fast can you die by the void in a new world? This seed has a ruined structure that generated low enough to replace some bedrock with netherrack, allowing you to mine straight down from spawn and reach the void in seconds. Check this out! A minecart chest spawned directly inside a monster spawner. This rest setup occurred because a dungeon generated right into a mineshaft, placing the spawner directly on top of a minecart chest. The chances of a dungeon having this is roughly 1 in 4.8 million, as calculated by this Reddit user. Finding a tall cactus is pretty rare. Sometimes you can even find a 5 or 6 block tall cactus, but how about a 23 block tall one? This seed has a world record for the tallest naturally generating cactus ever found in Minecraft. On this jungle island, you'll discover not just one, but 2 jungle temples filled with diamonds and armor trims. If you zoom out, the mountain on the island resembles a volcano. You can add some lava on the top to make it look like it's erupting. This seed boasts a 60 block tall woodland mansion, which is impressive on its own, but inside you'll find a village, a ruined portal, and even a half bed, all within the mansion. Check out this floating jungle temple. You may think that I built it up here, but it actually generated in 100% survival on this seed. If I saw this, I'll think Herobrine was haunting my world. But if you want a harder challenge, try this desert island seed. You'll spawn on an island with no trees and only a desert village. To survive here and get wood, you'll need to trade with villagers and wait for a wandering trader to spawn with a sapling. Heading towards the bottom of this ravine, you'll find a witch's hut. It's standing right on top of a lava pool and has the world record for the deepest witch hut in Minecraft, going all the way down to y=5. Unfortunately for the witch, after a while the hut will end up burning up due to the lava, and both the cat and the witch will die. Upon spawning in this seed, you'll find yourself on a stunning island topped with a wooded badlands biome and surrounded by deserts and stony shores. Remarkably, snow is even generated right next to the desert. As you explore the island, you'll discover a huge lush cave filled with glowberries and hostile creatures. In the water surrounding this island, you'll find a coral reef and 2 shipwrecks near the coast. If you want a ton of loot, you'll love this seed. 10 blacksmiths spawn all in the same village, which is actually the world record. The villagers will probably put you on a hit list for robbing them all though. This is one of the prettiest seeds ever! It features enormous cliffs encompassing mesa, savanna, jungle, and plains biomes. Below the mountains, a vast serpentine lake cuts through the landscape, making it an amazing spot for fishing. When you spawn into this seed, you'll want to make your way up the hill because here, you'll find a village on top of the mesa terrain. Surrounding the mountain, you'll find a ruined portal, as well as a cute mushroom island nearby. I particularly like this seed because it's so colorful. On this seed, you'll spawn right next to some of the biggest ice cliffs I've ever seen. The cliffs stretch so far that they even go out of render distance. This is the perfect spot for a cliff base overlooking the ocean. This is the most beautiful cherry blossom biome. It's surrounded by snowy mountain ranges and even has a village in the center. On the side of the mountains, there's a ruined portal, and below it all is a mineshaft. It's the perfect seed to live in. Pillagers usually destroy villages, but in this seed, the tables are turned. On this seed, a village generates completely inside of a woodland mansion, and notably the blacksmith too. His lava source ends up catching the woodland mansion on fire and burning up the entire thing. The end features floating platforms about 4 to 8 blocks tall. However, in this seed, you'll find 4 end platforms stacked on top of each other to get a 26 block tall end pillar, which is the world record. This seed uniquely combines lush caves, mine shafts, and lava pools. To find it, you just have to dig straight down from where you spawn, and you'll find this beautiful hanging mine shaft. There's even a spider spawner nearby, so make sure you don't get hit off. Whoops! This seed is truly special. It generated a glitched end portal, with only a part activated due to its placement on a chunk border. This unusual occurrence tricks the game into activating just 1/3 of the portal. This isn't an ocean monument, but an ocean city. When you travel to 0-0 on this seed, you'll find 4 ocean monuments all next to each other. The seed is honestly quite satisfying to look at because of the different ocean biomes separating them. Although this mesa biome looks perfectly normal, when you check inside of it, you'll notice it's completely completely hollow. The inside can be filled with torches and turned into an amazing base. As an added bonus, at the edge of the biome, you'll find a giant hush cave that leads into an ancient city. If you're looking for a safe place to build, consider settling on this mushroom island. It's absolutely massive, spanning over 1,500 blocks in each direction. But if for some reason you want a ton of allays, this seed has a whopping 58, all located at spawn. They're located within the pillager outpost and woodland mansion that generated right next to each other. Did you see the mushroom island? Yeah, me neither. But if you press F3, you can clearly see that this is a mushroom field biome. So this right here is the smallest mushroom island possible since it's made of 0 blocks. If you switch to Bedrock Edition, you can even see the mushroom-colored water, but no island. Villages usually appear above ground, but this seed features a snowy village inside a literal cave. With all the zombies lurking underground, the villager's survival chances are slim. Ice spikes are hard to survive in because there are no trees and barely any food here. However, in this seed, a plains village somehow generated in this frosty biome. This makes no sense. Have you ever noticed the strange water in savanna villages? The water is somehow just staying there without flowing. The reason why is actually pretty simple. It happens because savanna farms can generate in the same ways as village pathways. However, they don't adapt well to the terrain, allowing water to spawn without surrounding blocks. While most pirate ships are completely destroyed, somehow on this seed, a pirate ship spawned without any damage. It's just floating above the water, ready to set sail. Across the waters, there's even a zombie village for you to explore. But that doesn't compare to this crazy village that has buildings stretching from the valley floor all the way to the mountain peak. If you travel east through the valley, you'll find a second cliffside village. These mountain villagers are living the life. If you want to get every wood type, you'll typically need to travel across your world. However, in this seed, you'll spawn right onto an island with almost every type of wood, from swamps, jungle, and even acacia. The only wood missing from this island is cherry, but considering you spawn here, I still think it's a very good seed. There are even 2 ocean monuments right by the island. While lakes are normally quite shallow, this seed has one extremely deep. The lake goes all the way down to below y=0, and down here, you'll find things like glow squids and even an amethyst geode. If you head out to the lake and look around the mountains, you'll find a village with a bunch of paths going everywhere, but with only 3 houses and a random farm. But what's even crazier is this pillager outpost that spawned at the top of a mountain island. It looks like a lighthouse overlooking the ocean. Pink sheep are usually rare, with a 0.164% chance of spawning. However, on this seed, every herd will include a pink sheep, making them surprisingly common. But if you're looking for a breathtaking cliffside, this seed is a must-have. It features one of the prettiest cliffs I've ever seen, decorated with 2 waterfalls. Atop the cliff, a hush bamboo forest beautifully contrasts with the rugged story peaks. It's the perfect spot to build an impressive house and watch the sunset. Plus, if you're in need of some company, just head down the mountainside to find a peaceful village ripe for exploration. If building your own house is too much work, try this seed. You'll land on a pillager island complete with tents, iron golems, and a supply tower. Free the golems to help defeat the pillagers, and the beautiful island is all yours. Frogs are normally pretty rare, only spawning in occasional swamps. However, on this seed, hundreds of frogs spawn repeatedly across your world. Help, there's so many! But if you want to completely escape civilization, you need this seed. When you spawn in, everything seems normal, but if you just turn around, you'll see a tall, steep island with a vertical cliff face. At the top of the island, you can find lush jungle trees, along with a jungle temple! But the farthest known spawn from 0.0 actually happens on version 1.12.2. The game searches throughout all these tiny islands, but since they're mostly covered with sand, the game keeps searching for a good spawn until placing you here, thousands of blocks away from 0.0. For those planning to build a castle, this seed offers a natural advantage, a steep moat surrounding a central island, perfect for constructing a grand castle. Plus, if you happen to fall off, you might land in the dripstone caves below. Underneath this cave is something you'd least expect. Somehow, a desert temple generated 80 blocks beneath the surface. You can even transform this place into a secret bunker. Check out this red oasis. You spawn right next to it on this seed, and it looks super unique. In Java Edition, you'll even find an azalea tree located on the sandy beach, indicating there's a lush cave directly below the oasis. Heading downwards, you'll find a super pretty lush mineshaft, as well as sloping water hills. These ocean monuments generated right on the surface. When you load these chunks, you'll see that drown spawn here and instantly die due to being out of water. These structures are basically land monuments, and I kind of wish these generated naturally because they look pretty nice. Right next to them, you'll also find some structures in the ocean where they belong. I love this seed! And I mean it because the snowy mountains form a giant heart. Aww. Inside of the valley, you'll even find a nice village you can live in. Why are trees upside down here? I didn't place those there, but they naturally generated like that. In Snapshot 18W06A, a bug caused some trees to generate flipped over. It's a bizarre sight that defies explanation. This trial chamber has a stronghold generate directly into it. The various stronghold and chamber rooms intersect to form a labyrinth that's way harder to navigate. It's a pretty nice seed if you're looking for a challenge and a rare phenomenon. This is a desert village in the middle of a Badlands valley. A village was somehow able to generate on this tiny patch of sand. With all the mines on the side of the village, it sort of feels like the Wild West. Shipwrecks usually give some easy starter loot. However, you should be extra careful when entering this one, as it's lodged right into the side of a pillager outpost. You'll be shot from all directions trying to loot this. If you manage to defeat the pillagers, you'll be rewarded with 2 iron golems and 4 allays early in your adventure. Finding a trial chamber is a pretty rare find, but finding a corrupted one is way rarer. The chamber on this seed generated inside of a deep dark biome, and there's sculpt covering some of the walls. Sculpt catalyst blocks even spawned inside of here. Travel to the outer end islands here, and you'll find just a singular city tower. That's more of an end house rather than an end city. Contrastly, on this different seed, you'll find a massive end society. You won't be getting lonely here, and it'll be worth a visit for how much loot you can get here. If you're looking for the ultimate cave, this seed's got you covered. Close to spawn, you'll find these shattered caves filled with glowberries. You can continue down the cave and even find an ancient city. A fun project you can do is placing some glowberries in the top part of the cave, and you'll create what looks like a giant monster face. When exploring an ocean monument, you'll occasionally find a sponge room, which is pretty useful. However, when you spawn in on this seed, you'll find an ocean monument right next to you, which has 13 different sponge rooms. You'll never run out of sponges in this world. For a sea adventure, try this seed where you spawn directly on a pirate ship. It's an ideal location to set up your starter base. On this seed, you'll find something extremely rare. If you go underground at these coordinates, you'll find a spider, skeleton, and zombie spawner all connected in the same dungeon room. This room even has 5 chests for you to loot. In versions up to 1.19.2, large sinkholes could randomly appear in the terrain, creating spectacular landscapes. One notable seed features a spruce village uniquely situated at the bottom of a sinkhole. Nearby, you'll also find an igloo with a basement that's visible underwater. While getting your boat crashed on the shore is somewhat understandable, this is inexcusable! Because this shipwreck somehow crashed on the side of a massive cliff. It's floating over 30 blocks above the sea. How does this even happen? Ocean monuments are typically found in vast oceans, but this seed places one inside a lake. It fits perfectly in the middle of a mushroom biome. This seed has no end stone. The main end island on this seed completely fails to generate, and there are just the obsidian pillars. You better have brought a lot of blocks to pillar across the void, or you might lose your hardcore world. Even if you somehow manage to kill the dragon, your luck won't be improving. The end portal partially generates below y=0, where blocks can't be placed, trapping you indefinitely. If you make your way above these mountains, you'll find the perfect place to build your base. It's enclosed by mountains and has a cliffside for you to stare at the sunset. On the side of the mountain, there's even a large cascading waterfall that heads straight into the central lake. Venture southwest over the mountains and you'll find a mountaintop village. Then if you dig down from the highest point of the village, you'll land right in the middle of an ancient city. Village houses all look the same. They're all so boring, but not this one. A desert temple generated perfectly inside of a house, creating this beautiful masterpiece. As an added bonus, if you check out the bottom of the desert temple, you'll find yourself an enchanted golden apple. Before heading to the end, most people bring 12 Eyes of Ender to activate the portal. However, each portal block has a 10% chance of being pre-filled, which means there's a 1 in 1 trillion chance for a portal to be fully activated from the start. Like with this seed, if you were to travel to these coordinates on this seed, you'd find one of the best naturally generating hosts with Fortune 3, Efficiency 5, Unbreaking 3, and even Mending. This is a pretty nice hoe. The only thing is missing is a netherite upgrade. Normally, strongholds are hidden underground, but this seed is an exception. Here, the strongholds library is completely visible above water, making it easy to spot from the surface. When you spawn into this seed, you'll be on an island with 2 villages. While this may seem pretty normal, there's a dark twist. On this side of the island, you'll find a regular village, but if you fly to the other side, there'll be an abandoned zombie village. The chances of these two generating right next to each other are incredibly low. What's crazier is that by zooming out, there are actually 2 ocean monuments within swimming distance. As you head upwards this mountain, you'll find this strange terrain. There are protruding spikes coming out of the ground. You can use these spikes to practice wind charge jumping from one spike to the next. These twin islands contrast each other perfectly. The first, a jungle island, is lush with bamboo and features a ruined portal alongside a stunning cave entrance. The second, a mesa island, is encircled by a warm ocean, decorated with vibrant coral reefs around its perimeter. Additionally, there's exposed gold gold on the surface that's ready for mining. Whenever you create a new world, you spawn somewhere around 00. However, on this seed, when you spawn in, you'll be thousands of blocks away from 00. This unusual spawn point is due to 00 being located in the middle of a vast ocean, surrounded only by mushroom islands. Consequently, the game searches extensively and eventually places you on an iceberg far from the origin. This is one of the craziest seeds ever. It generated a woodland mansion, pillager outpost, and village all together in the middle of this lake. The second you load in this terrain, the pillagers will immediately go after and kill the villagers. There's also floating islands above, and a waterfall pouring down on the buildings. However, if you head directly below the lake, you'll see the huge foundations for the structures. And if you keep going down, you'll also find the stronghold. But that's not as strange as these grids of trees. If you create a world in 20W28A, all birch forest biomes would generate trees in this strange grid-like pattern. While you may have seen super tall village houses before, I bet you've never seen this. It's a completely floating village house. The villager who lives here won't even be able to enter his house. Well, those are some of the rarest Minecraft seeds. Subscribe for a good world.